This is the Patriots Drive Podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Let's go!
Welcome into another edition of the Patriots Drive Podcast. Today we're going to be previewing the Patriots Saturday matchup at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be at 1 p.m. on CBS. This is going to be a tough one. Pats are 7-7. Bengals are 10-4. Bengals have been rolling. They started off slow a little bit this year. Jamar got hurt at one point. They still kind of were rolling just as much. They've had some tough games against some good teams. They beat the Chiefs a few weeks ago. They're one of the most talented offensive teams in the NFL. They got a couple injuries they're dealing with, which we'll get into, but a bunch of skilled positions, a bunch of weapons at each level there for them. So it should be a tough challenge for this Pats secondary, especially if they're still banged up. But we have my co-host Chase Campbell. How's it going, Chase?
Yeah, it feels like we haven't been here to preview a game in a while. You know, schedule conflicts and crazy things, but it's good. I'm excited. You know, you get to watch a little football on Christmas Eve, and then you'll get a little. Hopefully we're in a good mood for actual Christmas because the Patriots can pull out a win somehow. That would be a Christmas gift for I think all Patriots fans right now.
I'm tempted to not watch until Monday just to savor.
So it doesn't ruin your
exactly
holiday.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would get spoiled at some point by someone. So yeah, no, but like you mentioned, it's a tough game. You're going up against the top 10 offense, you know, yards per game wise, and we all know the dynamic duo of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and then Joe Mixon has really been, you know, productive the last 2 years when they've had the passing game going, and it's a well-improved offensive line for these guys, and that was the one knock of them going into the Super Bowl last year, and I think they've been well-improved in keeping Joe Burrow upright a little bit, and it's a defense that's capable, and we all know the struggles of our offense, so I don't think that you have to have a great defense to really slow down our offense, so that would be the key is, you know, can our offense score with this offense? Because I just don't see our defense slowing them down enough, especially with the injuries on the outside to some of the cornerbacks, which I'm sure we'll discuss here in a minute. But it'll be a tough one. It'll be a fun one. Excited to watch it.
Yeah, I guess we'll kind of hop into the injuries just kind of right off the bat for what we know so far, just because I guess that's an important part of this game. One bit of news, Jake Bailey did have his 21-day practice window opened today to come off IR. So we'll see if he's able to play this weekend or what they end up doing with him. But for the Patriots injury report today, Devontae Parker didn't participate with a concussion. Jalen Mills still out with that groin injury. Joe Cardona, the long snapper, ankle injury, did not participate. I think the Patriots signed a long snapper to the practice squad maybe a couple days ago. RHAMONDRE was limited. Damian was limited. JAKOBI limited. Taekwon, Jonathan Jones, and Jack Jones all limited. So Jalen Mills still not trending in the right direction. He put together a couple practices a week or two ago, and then I don't know if he re-aggravated it, but he didn't practice for a couple days and didn't play last week and still hasn't been back on the field. So that's tough for the Pats. And then as far as the Bengals go, Sam Hubbard, one of their edge defenders, did not participate along with their other edge, Trey Hendrickson. I thought I heard after the game that he was supposed to miss this game against the Pats, but he was limited. Maybe it was Hubbard that they were talking about. But and then defensive tackle for them has an illness. Eli Apple was limited. A few other corners. They have 4 corners limited today in practice. So they're a little banged up as well. We'll see if those 2 edge players for them end up being able to go or not. But that would be a big help for our offensive line. Maybe we could get Mac Jones some time in the pocket.
Yeah, then, you know, the big one, in my opinion, too, is what's the status of Jack Jones and Jalen Mills at game time? Because those 2 missed last week, and I love how Marcus Jones is developing, but I think that with Miles Bryant and Sean Wade having to play extended minutes, especially against a team that has a really good quarterback and 3 really, really productive receivers. Obviously, Jamar Chase is a superstar. Then you got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, who can cause damage on any given day. Also, they can get theirs. And so that's what's serious. Without your 2 probably top 3 corners in Jack Jones and Jalen Mills, 2 of them at least, probably if not your number 1 and 2. Jonathan Jones has had his struggles this year, but he's probably been our best. But you're missing your number 2 and 3 corners, and you're going to go up against a receiving core and passing attack that you need almost all hands on deck to stop these guys. So how are they going to do that if those two guys are out? Is it going to be more safeties on the field? Is there going to be more of Jabril Peppers taking one of the guys in the slot, or are they going to continue to rely on Miles Bryant, Sean Wade, Marcus Jones, and guys like that to step up? And if that's the case, it really scares me. This passing attack already scares me. If you're relying on some of those guys to carry the load just like they did a lot of the time last week, I think it's going to be scary for this Patriots defense. And Patriots defense has played well, but this is a whole different type of beast when you're going up against this passing attack.
Yeah, this group is no joke for the Bengals. I mean, T. Higgins has 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. Jamar Chase has basically 900 yards, 8 touchdowns, and he's missed 4 games. Tyler Boyd has 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, it's a really talented 3-headed monster for them. And obviously, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, I'd say Jamar is in a little bit of a class of his own, but T. Higgins isn't that far behind him. T. Higgins is really talented. And then Tyler Boyd is a little bit below as well. But then Joe Mixon and P. Ryan, they're a little good duo in the backfield. Obviously, Mixon is more of that talented back who can kind of do it all. But P. Ryan, when he hopped in for Mixon the past couple weeks when he was banged up, he did a great job. So they got a lot of talent on offense. That they heavily improved their offensive line. Their defense has been fine this year. Hasn't been a top 5 defense by any means, but it hasn't been necessarily the worst defense in the NFL. They've held their own. They stopped the Bucs offense in that second half to pull off the comeback last week. So they have their moments that we'll see. Obviously, like I said, the health of those edge defenders, I think, is going to make an impact, seeing how Mac has been on his back for most of the season. So if he gets some time, maybe this offense can string a couple things together this week and make a run. But this is a must win. Last week was kind of a must win as well. But if you want any chance at the playoffs, you got to win out. And it starts here this week against the Bengals.
Yeah. And, it's going to be hard to beat a team. I mean, you have to win this one. If you have a little bit of breathing room last week, we all know the odds. If you would have won last week, you have a 54% chance. And not that you want to win last week and then say, then this game doesn't really matter, because I think Mac Jones hit it on the head this week. Every game at this point matters, and it's big, and you need to win every game. But when you're going up against a 10-4 Cincinnati Bengals team who just went to the Super Bowl last year and has the type of offense that they have, you're all of a sudden thinking, holy crap, this is a massive uphill climb. We should have won last week. We had every opportunity to win. We choked that game away. It's, the talk of the town. People are saying it's the worst play in NFL history, which it very well could be, but people are tagging it like that. Now you're on a short week against the Bengals, playing on a Saturday night on Christmas. It's just, everything's the perfect storm, in my opinion, for this to just kind of be the knockout blow for the Patriots. And I hope it's not, but you lose this one, drop to 7-8, and then you play the two teams that you struggled with the most over the last 2 years, in the Dolphins and the Bills. And those are 2 teams that are going to be fighting for their own playoff chances. If not, the Bills will already have locked up the 1 seed, but they'll be fighting for that 1 bye in the AFC. And so you're going into next week's game, and you're probably playing teams that probably have more to play for than you do at that point, because your playoff chances are almost out the window. And so what does this team look like? How do they come out? We've seen the Patriots come out and start off slow. And last year against the Colts, a couple games this year, even last week against the Raiders, you come out and you start off slow. You can't get in a hole against these guys, because our offense is not explosive enough to keep up with these guys. If you fall down, 21-3, 21-7, something like that, their offense can go off at any time. And we've yet to see, outside of the Minnesota game, this Patriots offense just continually move the ball down the field and put up points and touchdowns and, scoring in the red zone. So starting off strong, in my opinion, is going to be fast. How do they come out? Are they ready to go right off the bat, or is it kind of just, a letdown, and you see the team kind of giving up and not really wanting to play? I don't think that Bill and the team, or Bill and the players, will be like that, but we've seen that a little too often in the last couple years for Patriots games.
Yeah, and especially like you just talked about, as far as the rest of the season schedule, it's tough. And the Bengals, they're the number 3 seed right now at 10-4. The Ravens are the 5 seed at 9-5. So they're 1 game out. Ravens have the Falcons this week, and then they should get Lamar back next week. So if they can beat the Falcons this week, and then they get Lamar back for the last 2, that's going to be a battle for that division. So it's still up in the air in that division. The Bengals are going to be fighting for the division. trying to get the best seeding they can. The Bills are the 1 seed right now. They're 11-3. They're tied with the Chiefs. If they win out, they're the 1 seed. So they obviously want to get that bye. They want to win every game. They don't want to lose any of them. The Dolphins are the 7 seed. They're holding the last playoff spot right now, and it's tight. You got the Patriots. We're at 8. Jets are at 9, both 7-7. The Jags are 6-8, but they've been on a little bit of a roll. So the Dolphins, they play the Packers this week, who have, if the Packers need to win out in order to make playoffs, and a couple other things still need to fall their way. So Dolphins have a tough matchup against the Packers. Then they play us. They're going to want to win every game, just like every team does. But there's going to be a lot on the line for the next 3 teams that we play. And for the Patriots, you lose one of those and you're out. So if we don't win this week, you start to question the buy-in from everybody. They're probably going to be not as into it the rest of the season because the playoff chances are going to be basically 0. I don't think they can officially be eliminated if we lose, but it would be
as close.
Impossible.
Yeah, it'd be as close as it can be. I mean, need, and at that point, it's where you don't just control your own destiny. You have to have so many other things happen, and you don't want that to be the case. Going into the playoffs. So
I don't even think we do right now.
Yeah, probably not. We probably don't. I mean, sitting at 7-7 with 3 games left, you probably have to have a ton of other things happen, both with the teams ahead of you in the 3 wildcard spots, and then the teams that are tied with you. I mean, you got to have a ton happen in these next 3 weeks to have a spot. So, going off of the point that I made, starting off slow. New England this year is 23rd in the league in first half points per game. They're averaging about 9 points per game just in the first half. Cincinnati's 9th. They're averaging about 14. So, it doesn't seem like a big difference, but when you're averaging out, what have we played, 14 games to this point, and you're averaging out 13, and then you're averaging 9 for New England, like that could be a big difference. And I think New England's first half defense has been good, but it doesn't worry me about our defense. Our defense has played good in multiple games, and we've had a chance to win it. But I don't know if there's been many offenses that have been as elite as this Bengals one is. This is the Bengals team makes and wins games off of their offense and how explosive they are, and how many points they put on the board. They got a young coach in Zach Taylor who's already taken them to a Super Bowl. They have a probably top 10, top 8 quarterback in the league, Joe Burrow, when healthy and playing, to his advantage. And then the receiving core, like we mentioned, the depth of that receiving core is probably second to none. I don't know many other teams that have 3 guys that have as many receiving yards as the Bengals do, and as many touchdowns in the production that they get from that position. So starting off slow is just not, it's never a recipe for success, but in this game, especially, you don't want to start off slow. You don't want to get behind to these guys because they could just put you away before it's done, especially with the way this offense is played and the lack of corners, depending on what the health is for the Patriots, really is, like I mentioned, just a huge concern and how they're going to play this team, because even with Jalen Mills and Jack Jones, for me, it would scare me how they're slowing them down. It's not that we can't slow them down, but I probably sound like a broken record right now, but this is an elite receiving core, and we still have young corners on the outside. As much as I love Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, they're going to make their fair share of mistakes, and you're going up against, Jamar Chase, who probably top 5 receiver, maybe not top 3 in this NFL. So this is just a huge task all around, offense, defense, and special teams has not been advantage for us for the past 2 years. So
yeah, Ashton, we just touched on the injury report with Mills missing again. That's not great for us. And just to kind of hammer on the point you made about the Bengals wide receiver core, their number 3 receiver, Tyler Boyd, he has 40 more receiving yards and 2 more touchdowns than our top receiver. That's their number 3. So
it must be nice, right? Could you even imagine?
That'd be great. But that's just kind of how it's been this year. This is the Patriots offense. This is the receiving core we got. JAKOBI's done a great job, but he's leading us in receiving yards and in touchdowns. So their number 3 receiver, number 2 receiver, and number 1 receiver are all would be leading this team individually in each of those categories. So Bengals are good. They got a great offense.
The one thing I will say too is they have such a good scheme, and we talk about Matt Patricia so much, but Zach Taylor scheming up defenses, his play calling, like I feel like in JAKOBI Meyers or Devontae Parker, any of those guys wouldn't have Jamar Chase type of numbers, but any receiver of ours would succeed in that type of offense. It's a very quarterback receiver friendly type of offense, but that's what you're seeing in the NFL. That's what we want to see as Patriots fans. That's what we need to see to have Mac Jones take that next step. We need an offensive minded guy like Zach Taylor, who, really takes Mac Jones and pushes him to that next level and takes these receivers and push them to the next level. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd were nowhere near the type of players they were before Josh Allen, or sorry, not Josh Allen, before Joe Burrow, before Jamar Chase, and before Zach Taylor. And then what happens when you bring up the level of your offense, when you start passing and you get a true number one receiver, it makes receivers like JAKOBI Meyers, who are probably really good number twos, number threes in this league, have these type of years where they're having 700, 800, 900 yards and they're second leading receiver. It just elevates the whole offense. And that's why it's so frustrating to see New England out here where it feels like everyone's playing down a level because of, the play calling problems and the lack of talent and stuff. Everyone's playing down a level. In Cincinnati, everyone plays up a level. You would never see probably Tyler Boyd come in here and have 700 receiving yards just because I don't know if the Patriots would know how to use him. But the Bengals know how to get everyone involved and know how to use every single person. That's why they're so hard to scheme for. That's why they're so hard to anticipate because, Jamar Chase can have 200 yards on you. You could also have, T. Higgins go for 3 touchdowns or something. So it's scary to watch this offense, and it's scary to go up against them with the injuries we have in the secondary.
Yeah, that's definitely not an ideal fit there. But Cody, what's up? Yes, we have had a little bit of Red Sox talk.
Cole actually is not a Red Sox fan anymore.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Now I don't even have another team. No, it's just between the Red Sox and the Patriots, Cody. It's been rough for us fans over here. So, I don't even know. I don't know what to say about the Red Sox. I hope John Henry and FSG sells the team because they clearly don't give a fuck about paying anybody or trying to win baseball games. So, yeah, I know we've done a little bit of Red Sox talk. I think we talked about them a little bit last episode, I believe, right? Yeah.
I mean, we talked a little bit.
We talked about it for a couple of minutes, but I didn't want to talk about the Red Sox too much because I already had enough frustration about the Pats. I can only scream about one team at a time. So we'll save the.
I'm telling you, you guys just have to be Celtics and Bruins fans because they're like the best teams in their leagues, but the Boston fans don't seem to care about them that much.
No, it's not. It's not that I don't care about them. It's just for me, it's the Patriots and Sox. Kind of Patriots 1A, Sox 1B, Celtics number 2, and then Bruins is like 4. Like there's like a gap there. Like
That's fair.
I watch the Bruins in the playoffs because playoff hockey is wicked exciting. But I don't I don't watch every single Bruins game like I would watch every single Red Sox and Patriots game. And I don't watch every Celtics game. I watch a good amount of C's games, but I feel like every time I turn the TV on, they start losing. So I try not to watch too much. But all right, that's enough, I guess, for here. Actually, Cody says he's optimistic. They have talent. Reality is FSG and Henry have never handed out $300 million contract. I think they can win, but it's difficult. Well, it's tough when you don't want to pay your superstar homegrown talent, Mookie Betts. You don't want to pay Xander Bogaerts, your captain, your leader. You don't want to pay Rafael Devers. He's probably going to be traded too. I have no confidence that they're going to pay anybody. And if they're not going to pay any of those 3 guys, you're not paying anyone. And I mean, we're the Red Sox. We should have a top 3 payroll in baseball every single year, and we're not even in the top 10. Over the past 3 seasons, we haven't even been in the top 10 overall. So I don't know. If you're not willing to spend money, like the Mets' new owner, billionaire, rich, diehard Mets fan, all he wants to do is see the Mets win. He just doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm going to see the Mets win a World Series, and it's going to happen now. Guess what? We signed a bunch of guys to big-ass contracts. Hey, Carlos Correa, you failed your physical with the Giants. Come on over. We'll give you $315 million for 12 years. Like, he just doesn't care. And that's what I want for the Red Sox. And that's how the Red Sox should be. That's how the Yankees have operated at times. That's how they have the second highest payroll in baseball. You see the Padres doing it too, and they don't even have anywhere near the finances the Red Sox do. So it is what it is. Whatever. That's I guess we'll move back onto the Patriots. But
well, I think it's fair to talk about, and Raw 94 talks about this. It goes into play. The salary cap in baseball is different, right? There's no salary cap in baseball, but the Patriots are going to have a lot of money. There is going to be a lot of money for the Patriots next year to spend. But the question is will they? Will they spend it all? We've seen the Patriots be cheap at times and not re-sign guys. So Raw94 asks, do you think they bring in a top corner and a receiver next season? For me, I don't think they bring in a top corner because I think they're trying to develop Marcus Jones and Jack Jones, which I have confidence in. Now, if Jalen Mills can continue to grow and Jonathan Jones is the player that he is, the cornerback room is good enough in my mind. What needs to improve the most is the receiver group, which you mentioned here, and the offensive line. And because we've seen it, the defense is good enough to win games, but there are so many positions on the offense that you need to bring in that I don't know if you address it all in the offseason. I don't know if you can. Now you can draft some guys, you can trade for some guys. There's always going to be a receiver or two that a lot of people have on contract that are going to request a trade. I told Cole, I don't think the Patriots go out and trade for DeAndre Hopkins, but I could see him wanting out of Arizona. Kyler Murray's going to be out probably for at least 10, maybe 11, maybe even a year. So he won't get the first 8-9 games because of his ACL. The Cardinals, even with Kyler Murray, did not look good. Does DeAndre Hopkins want out? Does he, he's I think he's going to be 31 or 32 and he's on 2 years left of his contract. Does he want to get out and try to go chase a Super Bowl? Now, if he wants to go chase a Super Bowl, I don't think he's coming here to do it.
That's the problem.
But maybe Bill will, we all saw the connections that he has, and we all know that he had connections with Hunter Henry before he signed him in free agency. So there seems to be some mutual interest there, and I don't know why there wouldn't be. But the question is will they go out and do it? I don't know if they will. I think we all want to, and we'll get into our draft talk here soon. I talked to Cole about possibly doing a mock draft and getting that out on the channel for a clip, but I don't know how they do it. We've seen them miss on receivers in the draft over and over again. We haven't seen them go out and spend on receivers. So I don't know. There's going to be a chance for them to go out and sign a corner, a receiver, an offensive lineman. He also mentions a safety right here. I don't know if safety is as big of a need. If you bring back Jabril Peppers, you still have Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips, and then obviously the McCourty situation is a little different. And then they seem to love Joshua Bledsoe. So the safety position might not be one to address, but there's plenty of positions to address on this team. I just don't know if Bill's going to do it. That's what gives us Patriots fans very, very little hope.
So let me address this real quick. We have $56 million in cap space projected for this offseason. And let me just list off the free agents that we have coming up. Nelson Aguilar, Devin McCourty, Jonathan Jones, JAKOBI Meyers, Isaiah Wynn, Matt Slater, Cody Davis, Jabril Peppers, Jawan Williams, Raekwon McMillan, Carl Davis, Damian Harris, Miles Bryant, Mac Wilson, Yandy Kajus, Joe Cardona, Carl Davis. I mean, we have a ton of free agents. And say you want to bring back JAKOBI. Say you want to bring back, I think Slater and McCourty are probably retiring. Say you want to bring back just JAKOBI and Jonathan Jones. That's going to take out, 20% of our cap space right there just for those two. So it's like, then you got to fill in the hole at tackle, probably on both sides. Then you need a safety in a corner. Then you need a wide receiver. It's like, we have a lot of money, but if you think about it, it runs out fast. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I agree with Cody here. I think DMAC retires. Jonathan Jones and Myers, the guys that I see us re-signing as well. I think maybe we try to re-sign some of the lower tier guys that I mentioned there. But as far as like Aguilar, I think he's gone. Isaiah Wynn, he's obviously gone. I think Damian Harris is gone. I don't know. There's a ton of people that we have as free agents, and this team is already struggling. So if you're gonna pay the guys that you want to stay here, I think with the money locked up at tight end with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, when we've got no production out of Jonnu, I think that's really holding us back as far as going to get a number one weapon, because we already have so much money invested. We have the second highest payroll allocated to wide receivers and to pass catchers in general, including the tight ends and the wide receivers, I believe. So that's tough. That's a lot of money in a group that's really not good. So I'm not sure where they go from here, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's guys to go out and sign at the offensive tackle position. If you don't want to draft that or address that in the draft, you can go out and get Orlando Brown. He's going to demand a ton of money, but he's going to be a great tackle for you. And you get him and Trent Brown for another year on both of your tackle spots. Those are two behemoths out there. And those are two massive guys that would hopefully protect Mac Jones. Now, Trent Brown has not been very good for the Patriots this year either. The crazy thing is I have faith in Owenu, David Andrews, and Cole Strange will get better. I mean, he's been disappointing the last couple of years or the last couple of weeks. He'll get better. The tackles is really what's been killing us. Like those two, if Trent Brown can pull his head out of his ass and play like he's capable of, he is a great player, and we have a bargain of a 2-year deal on him, but he has not done it yet. And you saw what he was liking about Mac Jones. I don't know if there's going to be locker room issues because of that or chemistry issues. I don't know what's going on there. And then Isaiah Wynn hasn't panned out. So now you're playing a practice squad guy there. So you need a new right tackle. You might need to replace both tackles. At least get someone young in here that can develop. I don't know if he's going to start right away. So then do you take an offensive tackle? I see Cody right here, who's talking about a couple players in the draft. Smith and Jigba is going to be a great receiver. He's been hurt most of the year. I don't know how high he'll go if he falls to New England, just alone off of what he did last year. But you're going to get DeJuan Jones. You're going to have Blake Freeland. You're going to have Paris Johnson. You're going to have Peter Skoronski. You're going to have a ton of offensive tackles, and I'm sure one of them will be there depending on where New England's picking. I anticipate it to be probably in the low teens because I don't have much faith that they're going to win 2 out of these last 2 games. Maybe they get one of them. So maybe they're sitting at 8 and 9 at the end of the year, and they're drafting 13, 14, somewhere in that range. So maybe you're going to get one of those guys, but the receiver market's not very good. So if you don't go out and trade for a receiver like DeAndre Hopkins or a guy like that, you're going to sign probably another. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think Juju Smith-Schuster's on a 1-year deal. Or maybe not, but there's not very many good receivers on the block. I'll have to pull that up, or on the free agent market and look that up. There's not very many receivers. So you probably want to address that position and get a young receiver in there that can grow with Mac Jones at that position. So there's a lot of positional needs, and there's not very many ways to address it just because I don't have much faith in the receiver group in the free agency. I'm always a fan of drafting them. But then again, Bill Belichick has not been good at drafting very many great receivers in the last couple drafts. So how much faith does that give you? So I don't know.
Yeah, Juju is leading the free agent wide receivers in yards with 850 with 3 touchdowns. Right after him, Jakobi. So you're not
that tells you how weak it is right there.
You're not upgrading at wide receiver with the free agent this year. You got to make a trade if you want one. That's just how it is. Or draft or trade. Carlos says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Carlos?" He thinks that Trent is a surprise cut candidate. If not, I see them keeping him and drafting a left tackle later rounds to develop. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut Trent just because he has been horrid this year. He just hasn't lived up to what we thought he could be. He flashed at times last year. He's flashed at times this year, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if he doesn't care. I don't know if he's aging. I'm not sure what the deal is with him, but he's got a ton of talent, and it just seems like he's not all the way bought in. And it's hard to blame him with how bad this offense has been, but that's your job when you're getting paid millions of dollars to go out there. You're supposed to do your job, try to grind through it, work through it anyways, work through the frustrations, figure it out. And he's allowed Mac Jones to be knocked on his ass way too many times this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone either.
Yeah, and there might be a lot of surprise cut candidates. I mean, he might be gone. I don't see them bringing back Nelson Aguilar. I mean, Nelson Aguilar probably definitely won't get re-signed. We all know the problems with Kendrick Bourne. Like, are they just going to straight up cut him, or are they going to do him dirty again for the last year of his contract? So I don't know. There might be a lot of turnover on this roster. And you might see a lot of young guys come in, and then next year's another rough year because you're developing guys. And that's what's frustrating about this year is it feels like last year we found Mac Jones, we found a couple young guys, we were taking a step in the right direction. Now it feels like this is a step back from where we were, and now you're almost going, we're a year behind the rebuild just because we didn't really improve from last year. And this is a great comment right here by Cody. He also says, none of this matters. No player is going to matter if Matt Patricia is back at the helm, and Mac's having, he's not progressing. He's not getting the proper coaching. He's not developing. Our offense still looks stagnant. Can't do anything. So it really doesn't matter who you get. I really believe if you have Jamar Chase in this offense, he probably has 700 yards, and it's a waste of his talent because I don't have faith
maybe with Patricia as coordinator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Matt Patricia, if you take Jamar Chase and put him on this roster right now, he probably doesn't have more than 700 yards. I just don't know if the Patriots know how to use him like that. So you got to bring in my opinion, a ton of talent, but you got to bring in a new coaching staff on the offensive side that's going to change the dynamic of this offense, because whatever they did this year and whatever they were trying to do, it's so bad that you got to scrap it. You can't go back to it this year and say, hey, we're going to see what it works and we're going to improve on this. There's no way that they can go back to that. And I hope Robert Kraft doesn't allow them to go back to it. If it goes another year, I'll have lost a little bit of faith in Robert Kraft and putting the hammer down and, being the authority figure he is and saying, no, we can't do this again, because it almost feels like Bill's kind of getting his way and it's not really working.
Jonnu's cap hit next season is $17.4 million.
Yeah.
He has
Carlos says it right here. He's a $15 million hit if
224 yards. He has 224 yards this year, and if he gets cut, the dead cap is $19 million.
Yeah.
If he gets traded, it's $13 million.
So he's bringing a dead cap no matter what.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and trade post June 1st, maybe it's different. $6 million. I don't know. Maybe we save $6 million, but we probably have to pay him by then. I don't know. If it seems like regardless, Jonnu being gone is still going to cost us money, which sucks because there's no reason we shouldn't be able to utilize him. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Let's see. Raw 94 again asked, what if Arizona coach gets fired? Could he be OC or maybe give Troy Brown a shot at OC? I don't know how likely it is. Yeah, Kingsbury. I feel like if Kingsbury gets fired, he's going to land on his feet in the college world again. He was so good as a college football coach. He'll get another job. And with how many coaches in college are getting fired nowadays, someone will take a shot at him again. But I like Troy Brown. I feel like New England needs to bring in an outsider. They need to bring in someone that is going to bring new, innovative ideas to this offense and to this team. Because Troy Brown, great player, great coach, but all he knows is the Josh McDaniels, Matt Patricia style of offense. Like, he hasn't been anywhere other than New England coaching and playing. He was here most of his career too. So what does he know? He knows the Patriots style offense. And so personally for me, I want to bring an outsider, and I want to bring a guy that's going to push this offense to be different and to change from even what we saw with McDaniels. Now, McDaniels' offense was way better than Patricia's offense, but we're seeing the same similarities. I don't know if that's Bill's philosophy, but we need to bring a guy in that's going to bring in his own creative ideas and kind of get away from this old school type of offense that New England is still running. So I don't know who that is. I've kind of fallen off of Bill O'Brien. I said this last time. I feel like he hasn't been as good as what he was the last couple years at Alabama. He's definitely the better option than Patricia, but there's got to be someone out there that Patriots fans aren't thinking of, or that is kind of a dark horse candidate to be the next great offensive coordinator. A lot of Dolphins fans didn't know Mike McDaniel before he got hired. Everyone knows him now. Sean McVay, same thing. These are young coaches that are bringing innovative, creative ideas, and they're killing it in the NFL, especially with their offense talent. So I think it's got to be an outsider, whoever you bring in at the offensive coordinator position.
I would hope so, but maybe Bill's got another coach that's failing that he wants to bring in. That's a buddy of his to try to coach.
Brian Flores?
I would love Brian Flores on this coaching staff. Obviously not as an offensive coordinator.
On the defensive side. Yeah.
Say Gerard Mayo goes this offseason to get another DC job somewhere or head coaching job. I would love if Brian Flores came back as DC. You see how bad the Miami's defense has been since he left compared to how good they were. They were a top 3 defense, top 5 defense in the NFL, and they didn't really change much. They added Bradley Chubb, and they're like ranked 25th in the NFL now. Something crazy. Their offense is obviously a lot better, but yeah. So that's all I got for that stuff. Anything else you want to touch on as far as that goes before we get into the over-unders?
No. Before we get into the over-unders, though, we'll talk about a quick ad. Obviously, Underdog Fantasy sponsors our over-unders. They are a sponsorship of this show. We appreciate them for doing that. So if you guys have not used our code for Underdog Fantasy, and we will run a quick sponsored ad, and then we'll be back in 1 minute. Real quick, guys, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. With Underdog's NFL Pick'em, they make it super easy to win big on any given night. They have individual player props or daily fantasy and are legal in 41 of the 50 states. Right now, they are doubling your first deposit up to $100 when you use code PATSDRIVE or use the link in the description. All you have to do is select higher or lower and submit your wager for as low as $1 to win anywhere from 3 times to 20 times your money. You can also compete against thousands in Underdog Fantasy's daily fantasy tournaments ranging anywhere from football to baseball to basketball. Whatever sport it is, there's a tournament for you. Now with Underdog's Pick'em Insurance, you can still win money even if one of your picks does not hit. So head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app. Make sure to use code PatchDrive or use the link in our description to get started today. Yeah, thanks to Underdog Fantasy for doing that. If you guys have not done that, that's a great way. It's legal in 41 of the 50 states, so it's not like, sports books where it might not be legal in your guys' state. But we appreciate them for doing that. So without further ado, let's get into our game picks and the over-unders for this game. So for those of you guys that don't know, Underdog Fantasy sets lines. So right now, max is at 225.5 passing yards. All you do, choose over and under, place your bet. You have to at least select 2 bets. That's how it works. But Cole, with you, over or under 225.5 passing yards.
I'm not confident in it, but I'm going to say over just because I think the Bengals are probably going to score. Their offense is great. I think we're going to have to pass the ball some. We might be playing from behind at one point. The only thing that worries me about it's going to be cold. It's going to be maybe a little windy. I don't know if that makes them rely on the run game more. So I'm going to go over, but I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because Cincinnati has a couple injuries to their secondary. You mentioned Eli Apple. They're allowing right at 226 yards per game passing. But in their last 3, they've allowed 262. So I'm going to agree with you. I don't think it's a pretty 225, but I think that New England might get down early in this game and they might have to pass the ball a little bit more than they'd like to. And that's not necessarily a good sign for this offense. So I'm going to go with the over here also on Mac Jones over 225 passing yards. I think that if he goes for more, hopefully it's a good sign. I don't think it will be. So,
I don't either.
Yeah, let's move on. Joe Burrow right here. They have his line a little bit higher, a lot bit higher, 265.5 passing yards. What are your thoughts?
I think they're going to be able to have success running the ball because we might play conservative just as far as trying to stop their 3 different wide receivers, especially if we got to double Jamar, and then we're going to have to worry about some of the other guys. But I still think he's going to be able to do his thing. And I don't know. I feel like Burrow's a talented quarterback with 2 good weapons that can create half of this, it feels like, in just a few plays. So I'm going to go over. Their offense is really talented.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go under. The Patriots have allowed, sorry, I have this pulled up right here, and then I just clicked out, 202 yards per game passing. And I kind of agree with you. I think that they might be up so much at one point that they're going to just run the ball and try to get out of it. It's going to be cold. It's not going to be favorable to pass the ball. I know that. So I'm going to go with the under. I feel like he still gets, close to 250, but 265.5, especially against this defense, even with the injuries. And I would expect Jack Jones to play. I think it's looking more and more like Jalen Mills is not going to play. I think Jack Jones is set to make a return. So that will help you for sure. So I'm going to go with the under here on Joe Burrow. Moving on, let's go to the running back position right here. So this is total yards. RHAMONDRE Stevenson, Mr. Do-It-All for the Patriots. Make sure if you guys want to put over under in the chat, you guys can let us know your guys' opinions. But RHAMONDRE Stevenson, over or under 108.5 total yards, passing and rushing. Or sorry, well, I guess it could be passing, rushing, receiving, passing.
I'm going to go over. He seems to hit this every game, and he's our whole offense right now. So if he can't do it, we're not putting points on the board probably. So we're moving the ball. So I'm going to go over.
Yeah, give me the over here too. He has to go for 108 or more if we want to win this game. And he's going to be a big part of it. We know how much Patriots love to have the screens. He could catch 2 screens for 40 yards and he's halfway there, and a lot of teams haven't fallen for our screens. So that might not work, but he's a workhorse back. I would like to see them, maybe get a little bit more Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris if Damian Harris is not back, just to spell him. I'm just worried about the overusage of him, especially in a cold weather game. It's not fun to get hit by, big old linebackers like that over and over again, like he has been in sub-freezing temperatures. So I'm going to go over 2. Let's move on. Joe Mixon. This is actually a pretty favorable line. I like this one to add to my own personal slip this week, but he's over under 76.5 total yards.
I'm going to go over. Mixon's a good back, and he can do it in the passing game and in the running game, kind of like RHAMONDRE. Um, and they feature him in different parts of the offense at different times. So some games he could have 150 yards rushing. Some games he could have 80 yards receiving. Like, he can do a lot of different things. So he's a talented back. Um, they use him in the red zone sometimes too for different stuff. So I'm going to go over. I think he'll definitely get this one.
Yeah, this is. I feel like it's favorable. I mean, they use him passing, like you mentioned. They use him running. I think that they're going to be ahead at a point where they're going to try to at least run the ball with him, and establish that, get the clock moving. So I'm gonna go with the over here too. It's not because I think he's like going to just torch us and he might be the reason that the Bengals win. I just think that's a pretty low line for total yards and a guy that really does it all for the Bengals offensively. So I'm going to do that. So let's move on. No one really wants to mention this name, but I still have faith in him. JAKOBI Meyers, over under 46.5 receiving yards.
I'm going to go over. Big bounce back game for JAKOBI. Not that he didn't play good last game outside of that one play, but he's had so much hate towards him and through the media and everything. Just having to relive this every day. So hopefully it's motivating him and he bounces back with a big game.
Yeah, and the thing about JAKOBI is he's a gamer. He's a baller. Like, he's going to bounce back. I have no worries about him, mentally. He's going to bounce back, and he's going to have, that underdog mentality where he's going to want to, just prove everyone wrong. So I can see this being a big game for him. We all know he's Mac's favorite target. We both have Mac going over 225 yards. So I'm going to go with him over 46.5 too, just like you. So let's move on. Ja'Marr Chase, one of the best receivers in the league, and Patriots are missing a lot of corners. So 76.5 receiving yards is the line that underdog set for him.
So this is going to be, he goes over this almost every game.
Yeah.
But I'm in the fantasy playoffs. He's on my team, obviously in my starting lineup, which means he's going under this, and he's going to get like 30 yards and no touchdowns. He's going to get locked up by Marcus Jones, and T. Higgins is going to go off for like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns instead. So I'm going to go under. And I hope I'm wrong fantasy-wise, but also the Patriots win.
Hey, the Patriots held Davante Adams last week to 28 yards and 9 targets, only 4 receptions, and that's without Jalen Mills, Jack Jones. And we expect Jack Jones to be back this week. Cross your fingers for Jalen Mills. Doesn't look like it, but they held a great receiver under this, and I think Ja'Marr Chase is better than Davante Adams. But I agree with you. I think that Bill Belichick schemes ways to take these guys out, although it's very hard to. They did it last week, and Ja'Marr Chase has been going off. He had 132 yards 5 weeks ago, then followed up by 130 yards the next week, 97, 119, and then 60 last week against Tampa Bay. Like, he's almost automatic at this.
That's fair too. So you do good. That's fair. We do have to mention that, Jermaine. Justin Jefferson did torch us.
Yes, he did.
But Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, I mean, statistically, there's no argument. I mean, yards, everything. Like, he's that guy. So I'm going to go under here too. I think it's close, and this could easily be over, and he could win you a fantasy championship right here this week. But well, let's have a little faith. I agree with you. Let's have a little faith, and let's say the under here, and say Bill Belichick just really is that great of a coach, even though he sucks as a GM.
I think it's going to be a big game for Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. I think they're going to want to take Ja'Marr out of the game and force them to beat him with other weapons. And good thing for the Bengals, they got plenty of other weapons to beat us with. So even if it was just T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they still would have a good offense. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they hold up against a guy like Jefferson. But there's been some tough wide receiver matchups, and it doesn't get any easier with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Stephon Diggs in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. The thing about this, though, Jermaine, the Raiders did get Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller back, and Darren Waller did significantly better than Hunter Renfrow did. But the Raiders and Josh McDaniels, they tried to go at Davante Adams. Like, it's not like they just ignored him and they're like, oh, we got them back. Like, he still got 9 targets. Derek Carr was 4 for 9 for 28 yards when targeting him, and most of his success came when they didn't target him. And that's I get it. The Patriots, they had other weapons to throw to. The Raiders did, with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow coming back, but Hunter Renfrow only had that one huge catch for a touchdown, and then other than that, it was like Mac Hollins and Keelan Cole that torch the Patriots for some random reason, right? So it's they had a hard time containing the group of guys, but they did a good job containing Devontae Adams, even though they tried to get him his. So I have confidence in this. It's we'll see. Yes, that is true. Most of their success did. If Miles Bryant is on Jamar Chase for even more than 20% of the game, he's going to have this in one catch probably. So
that just sounds like my nightmares.
Yes.
Just watching Jamar Chase moss Miles Bryant and break his ankles with 30 yards of separation. That's just, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Oh, I do have one other thing. For those of you guys that don't know or have not been a part of the streams yet so far, we appreciate all the support. We hope you guys have already liked and you guys are already subscribed to us. We are doing a Christmas Day giveaway. It just came in the mail, so I can officially show you guys. The Christmas Day giveaway is going to be this signed Jack Jones picture. It's of his first interception or pick six against Aaron Rodgers against the Packers. It's going to have a JSA cert on the back, and then it's going to be authenticated. So we are giving this away. All you guys have to do to be entered to win on this is subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you're already on here, so hopefully you've done that. And then you guys have to comment on any video done and then put your Instagram handle. So once you win, we can email you or DM you guys on Instagram. So again, if you guys want to be entered to win this Jack Jones signed photo, which should be given away sometime after Christmas once we go live again to recap the Bengals game, make sure you guys are subscribed to us and you comment done so you guys are in that giveaway. I'm excited for one of you guys to win this. I told Cole when I got it in the mail today, I should have ordered two because it's freaking sweet.
Yeah, that thing does look nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you guys get entered in on that. Just a little holiday giveaway. Hopefully you guys enter and one of you guys obviously is going to win. So hopefully it's the people that are in here every day and not somebody who has popped on one time. So we know a lot of you guys who are in here usually. So hopefully it ends up being one of you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to give it away to one of our loyal supporters. If not, we'll do another one, next Christmas or something. Keep supporting the stream. And the bigger we get, the more support we see, the more likely we are to do it. Not that we don't love our faithfuls, but it's just it's easier when you're getting a ton of support. And we feel the love from you guys. And we hope we show you guys the love. We hope you guys come in here, you get your questions asked. We hope you guys always feel free to ask any question in the chat. And we'll try to get we'll try to answer it on stream. We don't require you to donate any money like you can in the chat. You can donate money if you like to support the stream. If not, we just hope you guys are in here chilling, hanging out as a Patriots community, because that's really what we started this for, to hang out with a bunch of Patriots fans, talk about our frustrations, the excitement that the Patriots bring us, and just be together as a huge community. So any type of support, like subscribing, donations, signing up for Underdog with our code, anything is greatly appreciated. We love you guys no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will answer this real quick. We're going to be going live, I think, Monday.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what time, but sometime Monday, I think, is going to be when we're going to do the post-game show for the game. So we're not going to be streaming it live Christmas Eve. Probably going to be doing stuff with family and all that good stuff and watching the game. So not going to be streaming it or anything, but we will be live Monday, I think, to react to the game and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think we all agree with, thanks Carlos, we agree with Jermaine right here. As much joy as Patriots football brings me, and every week I get excited to watch them, I really can't handle too much more if it's what we've seen the last 5 or 6 weeks. So I mean, we'll get into some draft talk. That's always exciting. You guys know me, I'm a freaking draft buff dude. I could talk about that week 1 and talk about who I'd take if I was at every position, and it's probably nowhere near what the Patriots would do because they'll reach for a 7th round center or something. But I talk about drafting all off season, and I think it will be exciting this year with some of the possibilities with all the money we have and everything else. So Red Patriot, Cole and Jace we're all going to be spending Christmas with our families. Yes, we hope you guys enjoy Christmas. You got any fun plans, Cole?
Same thing as every year. Usually we do stuff at my house with my parents, my sister, my girlfriend, my nephew, all that good stuff. We do something here Christmas Eve night, and then in the morning my whole family, grandparents, everybody goes over for like Christmas brunch, and then to my other side of the family in the afternoon. So just everyday Christmas stuff. Every morning for Christmas, we have these homemade waffles and all this fruit and all these goodies and yummy breakfast food. So I look forward to that. Just
I'm
as much
booking a
as
flight to
every year.
Maine. I'm literally booking it right now.
Literally once a year, we have these homemade waffles. My grandfather makes them with all the fruit and all the stuff, and like these different like bacon and other breakfast stuff, like different homemade hash brown, like stuff like that. It's I mean, it's awesome. I feel like I'm gonna vomit every morning after I eat all that stuff, but it's delicious. I wish I could save it and have it every weekend, but it makes it more special just the once a year. But how about you?
We usually go see a Christmas movie on Christmas Eve, and then I have family coming in from Arizona. I was actually going to fly out to go to the TCU Michigan game because it's in Arizona. I was going to just fly back with my family, but tickets are crazy ridiculous. So just stay home, enjoy it. I'll probably go snowboarding. Up here in Utah, we've gotten pounded with snow, probably 2 or 3 feet up in the mountains the last 3 or 4 days. So we'll go. I'll go enjoy some nice powder and skiing. We just had signing day today, so we signed a couple players for the football team or the college team that I'm on, and we'll get a nice Christmas break, and then we'll be right back grinding at some transfer portal guys and back at work. And that's what's crazy is this holiday's so fun, and then it's just like after like 3 or 4 days, you're just right back into normal life. So,
yeah, and then it's a whole year away, and you forget about it till then. Basically, it's like
exactly.
I went snowboarding one time, and during snowboarding lessons, I tore my MCL on the bunny hill going into lunch. So that was a short-lived hobby right there for me. But
yeah. So we hope Raw 94 says it. I hope everyone in this chat hopes for a Christmas miracle, and the best present we get Sunday morning is a fat dub from the Patriots. And we are 8-7, and our playoff hopes are a little bit more alive than what we think they might be going in. But that's it.
Everybody clear off your Christmas list from this year, and everybody ask Santa at the same time for a Patriots win.
When you write your note with cookies, or do it Sunday or Saturday, so do it Friday night, even though he's not going to see it, and then wrap it up. And
he knows though.
Yeah,
he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. All that good stuff.
You've heard the song. Yeah, give him some Patriots love there. So no, we appreciate you guys. Hope you guys all enjoy Christmas. Appreciate you guys all being here. Anything else, Cole?
Nope, that's it. Just hope you guys have a happy holidays. Enjoy your weekend if you're traveling. Be safe. All that good stuff. Enjoy the time with family. And until then, we will see you guys Monday night.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.